Okay, so I really did not expect this to be as good as it is, but check this out. A few months ago, I really wanted to get into laser engraving, so I asked Creality if they could send me out a laser, and at the time they didn't really have anything going, but a month later they reached out to me and asked if I wanted to try their Falcon A1. I said, well, of course, because that's really what I wanted, and I ended up getting it in the mail about 2 weeks later. It's marketed towards beginners and people who are new to the entire concept of laser engraving, which is why I really wanted it because, well, I'm brand new to this. I'm usually a 3D printing guy, but I guess I really just wanted to try laser engraving. And right out of the box, it was just super simple. Regardless, I've had this thing for about 2 months. Let me tell you all the good, all the bad, everything in between. Let's first talk about what it is. So this is my Creality Falcon A1. It's marketed towards beginners. It's rated at 20 watts. Everything's super standard. I could give you all the numbers, but I know you really don't know what that means. All you want to know is how well does it do and what can it do? Well, let me tell you what it does. It engraves pretty much anything you could want. I engrave leather, I engrave wood, acrylic. You can engrave anything from the sheets they send you to just the back of your phone case. Now, later in this video, I'll get to what you can't do or what modifications you need to make. Back to my unboxing story. Got it out of the box, put it together, took maybe 20 minutes. It really surprised me that everything came together. I have no clue why. I've unboxed fully put together printers before. All the Bamboo Lab printers come together. That Creality, you can't see it, but that Creality High came pretty much fully together. Something about a laser engraver being fully put together just blew my mind, and I never expected that to be something to get out of this. But I have a history of missing screws and breaking machines in the process of opening them, which, I mean, I'm not too proud of, but it's kind of funny. Once you get it all put together, all you have to do is plug it into a computer. It comes with adapters. You're never going to have a cord or something that just doesn't work. It's just as simple as finding a software for you. Creality has a software. It's called Creality Falcon or Falcon Design Space, I think. I'll show you on the computer here soon. If you're getting this as a beginner, I would recommend using Falcon Design Studio because it's super simple. You have all the help you need there. And it's free, which is also always good. Light burn costs like $120 a year. You don't know what I'm talking about. Let me explain. Before I run you through a test, specs. We have 305 by 315 millimeters build volume. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes here. I know it's not as engaging, but I need to look at my notes because I've got it all written down. It has built-in software for Mac and Windows. Setup looks like this. Calibrate the camera, send a test print, which it has built in. All you need to calibrate it, by the way, is this card. The camera takes pictures of the card in each corner, and that gets the camera correctly positioned in the software. Once you get your first test through, you're free. You can do whatever you want in the slicer, and it's a little bit confusing, so let me walk you through it. My first test, I really wanted to make some coasters, so I took some pictures of my dog and my cat, and I also took some pictures of my family and put them on some coasters. It turned out great. But one thing I learned after the first test was, as you can see, if you try to go light to dark, it doesn't work very well. That's light to dark. This is dark to light. Because it's a grayscale, you have to flip the light colors, which isn't something you should have to worry about because the slicer now automatically does that for you. When I was beta testing the slicer, it wouldn't do that for me, but they've made it a lot simpler, a lot easier, and it's harder to get lost. Now, when I first got the machine, I like to move fast with the stuff I have. I like to get through all the testing, everything I can get done, and they sent me this. This is a honeycomb panel. It's more for cutting, and it really cuts my fingers up too. When I tried to grab it the first time, I ripped open my finger and I had to like pause this whole testing thing because it was pretty bad. Anyways, you put this on this build plate. Comes with a build plate, but this build plate tends to get scratched up when you try to cut stuff, so you have to elevate what you're cutting. And the best way to do that is with something like this. The metal also bounces around the light from the laser, so it doesn't hit the actual build plate. However, one thing I would like to say about the build surface is the build surface works for everything. Like, you could honestly use that build surface for all of your projects. I wouldn't really recommend it. It'll get scratched up. I'll show you mine close up, but mine is getting scratched up, and I even had the honeycomb. So you can imagine if you tried to cut something without the honeycomb. I don't believe the honeycomb is included. They sent me mine, so I have no clue if it's included. I'll Google that and I'll put it up on the screen. But I would recommend getting this for whoever you get this for, or even if you get it for yourself. As I said, it works with wood. The machine comes with some wood, but it doesn't come with very much. So if you want to cut more out of like just a blank canvas, I'd recommend ordering some more. It can also laser engrave anything you want. This is, I believe the material is leather, but it works really well, and I engraved Argentina onto this for my dad. Some other materials you can use, like it comes with acrylic sheets. You can get these acrylic sheets and they come with parchment on it, because if you try to engrave plastic or cut plastic without these sheets, all it's going to do is just bounce off or go through if it's clear. And that's not really what you want when you're looking for this. The laser has to have something to catch onto. Anyways, you can laser engrave anything. Like legit, you could do the back of your phone case. Let me talk a little more about the setup. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So the first thing you're gonna do is it has this little leveling device. All you wanna do is you wanna set down what you're engraving on the surface. This is a really simple demonstration, but you put this down, move the nozzle head over, and you can unscrew it. Maybe if you're doing cutting of basewood, you're just gonna put it on the 3mm basewood. You're gonna tighten the screws up. Super easy leveling of the actual head. The actual calibration of the bed is a little bit more difficult, but you don't have to do that as often. I'll cut to me demonstrating how to actually calibrate the camera with the bed. It's pretty simple. I'm just gonna show you how simple it is to calibrate it. Okay, so honey comes out. I've got what's going on my computer on the screen right now. I'm just gonna put the card with the dots entirely in the square. Luckily for the corners, that just requires you to put it up against the walls of the actual machine. And then I'm gonna come over, I'm gonna close this, and I'm gonna click Get Image. And then it should score how well the card is. And all you were looking for is a higher number, preferably in the green. You're gonna go through, get the image for every spot, and that's how simple it is to calibrate. Okay, so once you start actually using it, you're gonna find that between each cut, all you have to do is swap out the material and then click the picture button on the camera on the software. You can do that for about a day. Once you get past a day of using the same settings, it tends to like move somehow. I'm not even sure how it works because the camera's stationary, but it'll just uncalibrate itself, and that just takes some recalibration. It's not that difficult. Realignment of the camera, there's height selection in the software. Safety features. The machine itself will not move if any of these doors or flaps are open. Great, because it can really hurt your eyes. I kind of learned that the hard way. I stared directly into it the first time I set it up, which I wouldn't really recommend. Another, little kids can't just turn it on. It requires a key. Key's right here. Just, you put it in, you turn it, then it'll power on. You got an emergency switch. Just push it in, it'll power off. The first time I opened it and I tried to turn it on, I had the emergency switch on, which it's not gonna turn on if it's in. So you just have to make sure that's twisted and pulled out and it'll turn on. On camera, I'm gonna run through a selection. On camera, I'm just gonna run you through how engraving usually works with something like this. So we're just gonna move over to the computer and I'll show you what I'm doing. Since I'm cutting some wood, I want the honeycomb so it doesn't scratch up this base plate here. Okay, before we can actually send it, I have my basewood laid down. I have my leveling tool here. As you can see, it says engrave cutting thickness of basewood. That's what we're gonna line it up with. I put the honeycomb down because I need to cut through the actual thing. I'm just going to unscrew the head. It's gonna drop. You wanna make sure it doesn't drop too hard. You're gonna move it and you're gonna rest it on it and just screw it. That's the thickness you want the head set at for whatever you're cutting. It's really simple. That's all there is to it. Now we can move over here to Falcon Design Space. All we're gonna do is click camera. We're gonna click photo. That's gonna, oh, whoopsies. We gotta put the actual lid down. I had the lid still up. We're gonna click photo. It's gonna take a picture of what we have inside the actual machine. All I'm gonna do from here is, I know the camera alignment height, it's supposed to be 18. It's 3mm for the basewood, 15 for the honeycomb. We're gonna take a photo. It's just gonna look a little more zoomed out. Next step is we'd put what we want to engrave. I'll put this cat, just because it's the first thing I saw. We can size it down. This should be to scale on the board, and it's just gonna sit right there on the middle. Looks good, so I'm just gonna click start. And as you can see, about 30 seconds later, we have about a perfect engraving, or is about as perfect as you can get. This isn't actually showing off any grayscale. I just wanted to show you how the engraving and cutting works. I put a circle around it and I turned it on laser cut. So now it's gonna do a circle and cut out the actual cat. It's louder, makes more noise, and it's a little bit slower, but it really does a great job at cutting it off precisely. And there we go, we can open the lid. It should be perfectly cut, just removes with no effort. And we have a perfectly engraved and cut little cat. Pretty cool, huh? Now I get it. I didn't make something incredibly interesting here, but you show this to somebody like me 2 months ago, a complete beginner, and I was hooked. This machine really got me into laser engraving, and I made a lot of fun stuff with it. Now, as I said at the beginning, this is just an overview of the actual machine. I'm not gonna do a really in-depth test or specific project. I just wanted to show you how it worked. And with the test out of the way, let's go over my notes, my pros and my cons. Who's it good for? Who's it not good for? Should you buy it? Pros, it's fast. You saw it. It's about 12 to 20,000 millimeters per minute, which is pretty fast for laser, especially one at this price point. It's really affordable. $550 for a Core XY laser like this machine is just an incredible deal. I don't think I've ever seen something quite like this. I've seen $200 ones, but you have to build them all, and you have to set them on a table, you have to find a surface. Everything is fully enclosed, kept within a really sturdy, really good, just really compact design. It's really simple to use. You saw, I just chuck a pattern on. They have a bunch of pre-built patterns. You can import pictures. It'll automatically grayscale any image. It's really simple to use. Like, it really doesn't get simpler than that. The setup was so easy. The setup was 20 minutes. All I did was take it out of the box, plug some stuff in. As long as you have the directions, you're good. The detail on that cat, there's not much detail, but I showed you some of my other like coasters and stuff. There's incredible detail that I didn't think was possible. The grayscale has so much variable, and it can be anywhere from a dark to a light, and anything, and I mean pretty much anything in between, which means even if you don't have a colored image, you can still make out stuff that you didn't think you'd be able to. The build quality, that's what really surprised me. I thought for $550 machine, it was going to be either a little bit iffy or the build quality was just not going to be there. And everything's been simple. Everything's been really well structured. I love the metal. Everything is just come together so nicely in this machine. It's really accurate, and it's super simple to calibrate. I showed you the calibration takes like, what, 10 seconds. It's just a few screws, or it's just a few pictures and a few matches that you have to make on a computer. It's not really that hard. But now let's get to the cons. The software, there are two main softwares you can use for this. You have your Lightburn and you have your Falcon Design Space. I really recommend Design Space because Lightburn is behind a paywall, and nobody wants to pay money for a slicer like that. You're not going to use it enough. Lightburn's like $120 a year or something like that. It's incredibly overpriced, but I know it's a lot simpler. It gives you a lot more different, it gives you different sort of things you can do. You can do a lot more with it. I won't tell you you can't, but if you're new, even if you're not new, I can't think of a single thing you can't do on Falcon Design Space that you'd want to do. Specifically, clear plastic just doesn't cut well. You can kind of get it to work if you put some masking tape on it, but it's going to be uneven, it's going to be rough, you're not going to get as much detail, you're not going to be able to cut as intricate as design. I know that's really niche, but it is something that I ran into, and I thought it'd be something good to bring up. You might have to run through whatever you're engraving multiple times, especially if you're cutting something new. A new material is always difficult to tune in. It's not really, as long as it's got a base preset in the actual Falcon Design Studio, you're set. But if it's something like you're engraving leather on a book, you're not going to get it perfect the first time. You might need to run it through the second time. But overall, is it good for beginners? I'd say yeah. It's really simple. It's really fun. Just like, go have fun with it. It's just so, it's always so much fun to make stuff. That's something I've loved with this channel. And with everything I get to do, it's just fun to be creative. And honestly, just for that, this is great for anybody you could think of getting it for. Who should buy it? Who shouldn't buy it? I'd say get it for a beginner. You could even get it for somebody who's more advanced when it comes to this kind of stuff. Anybody would like this machine. This machine is just so simple, so easy to use. There's nothing that you can't do with it, or at least in my testing that I've been like, oh, I really want to do that, but I can't do that with this. As long as you have everything for it, it works perfect for anything you could want. If you are looking for a more pro model, they do have a Falcon A1 Pro. I don't personally have it, so I don't know much about it, but I will let you know that they do have that. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and let me know down below what you think of this machine. If you're gonna get it, let me know. I'd love to hear. I guess I'll just see you guys next time.